And ABC was getting it from 38 states. NBC was getting it from 36 states. Now I'm getting mad. I'm starting to see a cooperative effort for non-disclosure. I then asked myself the next logical question. How much is the syndicated media making from composite government sources? Up front you would think of, federal grants, public education grants for media broadcasting, service commercials, city, county, state, federal. That was a substantial portion of the syndicated media's income. But then, realizing that composite government funds own the primary shares of major Fortune 500 companies, such as Xerox, over 78%, Motorola in the 60s, IBM, AT&T, they own that stock, and through the proxy votes, through the investment managers, they can exercise demands over those corporations on who to use on the marketing campaigns and the advertising. So they can direct more money to the syndicated media.
And this is why when we watch ABC, CBS, NBC, they have the same story with the same talking head looking the same, with the same advertisers in the exact same order every night, because they give us 3 different brands of the same slavery. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not speculation. I have in my hot little hands the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for Texas for 1999. Now, Walter, you, almost a year ago, when we first talked live on the radio, and you've talked about 40 million people since you got in your disclosure. I'm going to go through all of that, bringing all this forward. You said get comprehensive annual financial reports from 98 and before, because you said that now, because of your disclosure, they are starting to even try to water those down. My 98 one clearly says $435 billion surplus. That is just the cream off the profits of their investments, not even all their investments. And now it's only got 60-something billion. Now, I went and checked out what you said. You said it a year ago. You said it today on the radio. You said that the 99 reports that were coming out.
Take a look at 96.
Well, the point is, they're on to what you're doing. They're on to the fact that you're on to them, that people are waking up. How are they manipulating the reports? I mean, they say we have a little surplus now in Texas, $4 billion. They said it was 6.9 back in 98. But still, it's, 60-something.
Look at 96's report, and you'll see they listed the transactions they handled for local government.
Well, that's my point. This book has gotten smaller. This book isn't as lavish, and you've been talking about that. How are they manipulating the comprehensive annual financial reports because the news is starting to get out? How are they now cooking these books, too?
When I came up with disclosure, originally, 99 and prior, it was required to show all investment revenue, all income coming in from all sources in the combined financial columns. As of 99, they changed it to showing all investments revenue, all income, all revenue coming in necessary to meet obligations. There's a big difference.
So that's like saying, again, back to a budgetary manipulation. I need $500 a week to run my household, so I make my budget $500, and everybody focused on the $500 when I'm really making $2,000 a week, hypothetically, and then people get wise. My wife gets wise, and I'm really making all these thousands of dollars I'm not telling her about. So I go, it's all right, honey. Here are those books. See? And then I only show her enough of the money, enough of the surplus to say, oh, I just had this in reserve in case I needed it.
I'll give you a key example from 10 years ago. As I mentioned, education is included in this game. Now, in the New Jersey's Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, it showed consolidation of the state universities and colleges under one financial column. I noticed right off the bat they had $8.5 billion in liquid investment funds. It showed that they made a $1.1 billion profit on their investment funds, for the year, bringing up their total to $9.6 billion. Are you with me?
Yes.
My next question in logical progression was, I wonder what the total tuitions are paid by all students attending college and universities in New Jersey. That was listed also, $644 million. So right off the bat, I said to myself, they made a $1.1 billion profit on their investment funds. The total tuition base for all students was $644 million. I said the kids could have gone to school for free for the year and gotten paid to go to college. Now, what actually happened that year was they cited a shortfall of budgetary revenue and had a 7% tuition increase. This is back in 1989.
Now, that's just with a university running a scam. Let's talk about some of the smaller examples. You used a case in a small county where you live in Arizona now. Tell us about that.
An example regarding...
the health care.
Oh, that was in Tucson, Arizona, Pima County. A couple years back, the healthcare program, citing a shortfall of operating funds, said that they're going to have to cut back on services and turn away people unless they had a $6 million tax increase. They were supposedly $6 million short. So they presented to the public for a $6 million tax increase. Now, you know, they forgot to mention they were short $6 million for the year, and the $6 million would be every year thereafter. But the public, saying we can't turn away the sick and the elderly, voted on the $6 million tax increase. Well, a federal auditor, retired of 30 years, he looked at the health care program's financial statement. He called me back immediately and said, Walter, they invested in one shot $35 million in the local government investment pool. By investing $35 million in the local government investment pool, that's what created the $6 million shortfall in their operating funds. If they had not invested $35 million with the local government investment pool, they would have had a $29 million surplus for the year.
So, again, the classic thing we hear on the local news in Austin, got to have a massive, $300 million tax increase or bond proposal for the schools or they'll be shut down. Got to spend all the tax money for Capital Metro, a few $100 million extra a year, or that'll be shut down. We got to spend a few extra $100 million, or there won't be potholes getting filled and emergency radios in the ambulances and fire trucks. This is the same thing all over the country. I've seen the stories. The people go, I'm paying a lot of taxes. I'm in the hole. I may have to sell my bass boat. I may have to get into the college tuition because all these property taxes and sales taxes and all these other fines and fees. But damn it, we'll do it for the kids, for the old people, for the education, for the potholes, when they had money to pave the streets literally in gold.
And they laughed all the way down to the bank.
So boiling it down for the simple minds out there, and I'm not being sardonic, I'm not being patronizing to you, condescending, but I have to be honest with some of the viewers. They're going, but we got a huge deficit. Federal government's got a $5 trillion, $500 billion deficit. I heard it on the news. Walter, the numbers I've crunched from the government's own sites on the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Anybody can go there on the web. Federal government. They don't hide this stuff. They just know the media won't cover it, so you won't listen out there. They've got this $30+ trillion cream at the top. $30+ trillion cream. Just with the federal government, the states and the counties and the cities have more. This racket is everywhere. You talk about Pima County in Tucson. That was just with a hospital fund from the city where they spend, invest this $30+ million, so they have a budgetary shortfall of $6 million. Don't tell you about that. With the federal government, we hear all the time, well, we have this deficit, so we got to tighten our belts. We have to have a tax increase. We can't even have a tax cut. That's really what's driving this fraud, is people thinking we're in financial trouble when there's really giant surpluses.
What's driving the fraud is the easy ability to build phenomenal empires just by structuring it and implementing it with the public sitting there saying, is there something going on? Not having the foggiest clue. And being that the public left the vault door open for the last 45, 50 years, phenomenal empires have been built, large and small.
Well, I want to explain something that we closed the radio program today with. And we've got plenty of time now. You're going to be with us for probably another 40 minutes or so as we tape this program. But the point I wanted to make here is, Walter, I didn't believe you 2 years ago. I went and I checked this stuff out. You're a conservative guy. You're in there about the numbers, the facts, financial planner.
Commodity trading advisor.